Hi everyone, this is our test automation brigade meeting and today is February 20th. And just a reminder for everyone that this meeting will be recorded and posted onto YouTube. There are not many items on the agenda. I have it here. I hope everybody can see my screen that I'm sharing. As usual, let's go over the status and updates. Okay, Hema, are you on the call? Anybody from Infosys? Hello?
Hi, Suchitra.
Yes. Who is that? Is that Hema?
I'm Gayatri here.
Okay, hi Gayatri.
Yeah. We are currently working on the tickets. I'm currently working on 252052 for the bandwidth profile.
Okay.
So the manual verification is almost over, and I have started scripting as well. Probably by next week, I will be able to submit the patch. I will try to submit the patch by next week.
Okay. Thank you. Any other things? Any issues in proceeding?
Hi, Suchitra. Yeah, this is Hema here. Sorry, it got disconnected in between.
No problem. Hi, Hema.
Yeah. So you were asking about the status, right?
Yes. If there are any issues or anything that you can bring it up.
Currently, we don't have any issues on the JIRAs. Gayatri and Suraj are working on 2052 and 2054. And some JIRAs are in progress, OLT disable enable scenarios. So I need confirmation on it. We need to merge it or we need to wait for Saurav. As of now, it's low priority, right? Jira.
Yeah, so this one.
OLT disable and enable.
Yes, I still have to get back to you on that, but I thought that there was already a test case that was written on disable enable test, and it was merged into the some long time back. Yesterday, when I was going through the list of test cases in Voltha in the functional suite, then I saw this. Hello? Looks like we dropped her. All right, maybe we should move on. Anything else from Suraj? There is one patch from Suraj that he submitted for this item here for WP area associate some enhancement. That is already merged last night. So Gayatri, you can let him know that this can be closed, this ticket. And also please check with him on the this test case right here, 2506. Maybe he's waiting on the approval for the patch to be released, but can you ask him to ping me about this test case as well?
Yeah, sure. Sure, Suchitra. We'll ask him.
All right. Thank you. Anything else from Infosys side?
Hi, Suchitra. This is Hardik here.
Hi, Hardik.
Thanks for merging that Sanity test case patch, but I've still kept it in progress because that is yet to test on the hardware. So I was planning to do it today, but I couldn't get the chance. So probably tomorrow I'll test it on the hardware. And if that works fine, I'll mark this as resolved.
Okay, sure. So did you already get an access to the Infosys port?
Yeah, I'm able to access it. There are a few things that I need to check with Hema. So maybe tomorrow once I start, I'll check with her on that.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, and other than that, I have created a new patch for the subscriber add and remove for the DT scenario,
Mm-hmm.
and that is in review. It's 2547. I don't see this here.
Yeah, I don't see it here.
Maybe some.
Probably the tag on it.
Yeah, I'll check and I'll fix it.
Yeah, automation test brigade, and that's the epic, and also the fix and release Voltha
Okay,
3. So then you would see it here.
okay, yeah, I'll do that right
Okay, thank you, Hardik. Anything else from your side?
now. No, that's for that. Thank you.
So do you had already tested this on BBSim?
Yes.
Okay.
So BBSIM, it's working fine. It is just on the physical part that I have to test the things.
Mhm. Okay, thanks, Hardik.
Thank you.
So anyone from ATRAN on the call?
Yes, hello, here's Thorsten.
Hi, Torsten.
Currently, I am working on this issue, and delivered the first time a patch for this. Uwe, I think you have to scroll down. Got also good progress. The creation of multiple BBSIMs is working, but the deletion is still open. And Gerald, unfortunately, is sick and can't deliver anything at the moment.
Okay. And this one, this is a change in the BBSIM, right? So probably when you send out the patch, please add Teo as well, Matteo as well on to that.
This is extension of the Voltha script.
Oh, Voltha script. I'm sorry. Yeah. Sorry.
Matteo will be invited.
And Andy as well.
And Andy, okay. That's all for today.
Okay. Thank you, Torsten. Anything else? Any issues? Okay, Torsten, just have a quick question. So Uwe, I remember this bug, he had already fixed it, and I'm not sure if he's still waiting on something to close this ticket. Would you please ask him to close this ticket if it is done?
So Suchitra, if you update, you will see that I've taken over that item itself. And so the issue was that there was another patch set going into Cord Tester that Zach is doing for, it was a much bigger one for Python 3 compatibility. And that other patch necessitated essentially redoing Uwe's work. So so I've now taken that over, and I'll take care of it.
Okay. Thanks, Andy. All right, Andy, do you have anything else since you just started to talk?
So what I've been working on is so the recent update to ONOS 2.2 requires some status configuration changes, and so I've updated the status configuration used for BBSIM tests. So with the new information, so that should be working. The other thing that I did was add some new Jenkins jobs for, I think we discussed this a couple of weeks ago, for various libraries like Voltha libgo and PyVolta and Voltha Protos, adding a sanity test for patches to those libraries. I guess there was a discussion in the Voltha stabilization channel about whether or not it's a problem if the sanity test with a new version of the library doesn't work. And I think the consensus was that's actually okay, because these are just libraries and they're versioned, and the downstream components that consume the libraries pin them to specific versions. And so it's not necessarily a problem if the new version of the library doesn't work with another component, say the open OLT adapter, because that adapter is pinned to a specific version of the library. So anyhow, I did create the job in Jenkins, the sanity test job for patch sets to the libraries, but they're not used to give a -1 in Jenkins. If it fails, it's okay. It's the vote for that is skipped, and it is just for informational purposes, so the developers can see that this patch to a library doesn't work with the current version of the adapters or the core or whatever. So it's just for information for the developers, but those jobs are there now.
Okay, thanks, Andy.
That's it.
Thank you. Yeah, pretty much. And for myself, pretty much I have been working on integrating the new tests onto the nightly jobs, and also the past days I've been testing the ONOS 2.2 and migrated the jobs to the new one. And yesterday we have also updated the release jobs to pick up the new released Helm charts and also the ONOS 2.2.1. And tests are running fine. There are a couple things that still need to be changed for 2.2.1. There are more tests that we need to add. So I am in that process of adding all the tests. And then you might be noticing that on the Jenkins jobs, there might be failures here and there, but that's because of some of the tests that are being realigned. Due to the fact that I'm rearranging the tests, the way the order of execution will be changed now. And probably in a week or so, we should be able to have a good result, results showing here on the page. Yeah, otherwise, I don't have anything, but there is one issue that I've been noticing, that with the new the master on this particular one of the pods, and also sometimes even on the flex pod, I've been noticing that either the installation of Voltha fails intermittently, and sometimes the cleanup step is failing, and we still need to investigate if this is happening on other pods or not. So, and if you notice that last night all these jobs on this particular pod has failed. So that's an update. I think I don't have anything else from my side. Those are the things. Any questions, anyone, before we move on to the next item?
So Suchitra, I'm here with Andy. This is Zach.
Yeah.
I had 3 items that got done this week.
Okay.
One was there's some additional documentation for last week's request about having, when the robot framework lint fails, that was added to the docs in Voltha, in the Voltha system test repo. So if people have questions about why their robot framework changes fail, that should help. Also workarounds for line length and a few other notes like that. And also I cleaned up the docs. That was one thing. Another is that there's now tests. We were missing some SCA tests on the Voltha repos. So people were checking in code that wasn't passing the Golang CI lint jobs. So that's been checked in, and David Bainbridge also helped by making those tests actually pass. And so that's in. And then the final thing is I've been working I have a refactor going on of the cord tester repo so that it can be imported as a library, so that we don't have to check it out at the same time and put it next to and refer to it with relative paths. And also to update the code that's being used there. And that will let us not have to have a dependency, a direct file dependency and checkout dependency on the cord tester repo. I was working on that. I got into a decent shape. Andy, I think, is going to pick up that after me because I'm being pulled aside to work on the Python 2-3 conversion of the OF agent Pi code. And I have some other infrastructure stuff I need to get to.
Yep, I can help with that.
But that's going to change some jobs. It's also, it may affect more of the older SIBA jobs, but it should make the Volta testing go smoother. And also it'll make it so that, because we're depending on a versioned item, changes to the SIBA jobs and the Volta jobs won't possibly step on each other's toes and break. So that's all to say that it's more organizational work, but I think it's necessary for the for us going forward as we add more tests and do that. Eventually, we might want to make a library that has common Volta functions. We can consider doing that or adding that to the main Cord Robot library. Well, that's all I have. Are any questions?
Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
Any questions for Zach? So this is on the README, right? The documentation.
Yeah, in the README at the bottom, and also I did some rework of the whole README, fixed some spelling errors and formatting and other stuff.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah,
Yep.
that will help, and we'll look into it. And then if there are any questions, we'll get back to you.
Okay.
Okay. Any pending patches, important patches that needs to be reviewed? As usual, please do Slack us or send an email about those, and we should be able to get those in. And next item, we usually talk about the pods, any updates or issues currently that we are having with Infosys or DT. I know that burning pod is being handled by Andrea, but otherwise Infosys, do you guys have any issues?
Actually, today only I updated that status file for Infosys part. And when I try to execute manually, means locally here, I'm facing some issues. It's failing in the beginning only. It's logging into Vonos and it's trying to retrieve the device information, and some error it's throwing and it's failing. So other than Satisfy, do I need to update any other files for the Zonos version change?
That is all we have. So you're saying that the tests are failing, or the build job okay?
It's not through Jenkins. After updating the Satisfy, I'm checking locally. Local runs are failing, but Jenkins job, yeah, I just checked. The recent build jobs are getting aborted due to the timeout, so I need to check it. I'll check and update that.
Okay, so this is the same issue that I'm seeing on our pods, but
it's very slow also.
All right. Yeah, probably we can talk on Slack about this issue. But otherwise, I don't see any other things that we need to update, because if you have the apps configured right after, I'm not sure how you're building, because right now the build job is failing. If you are installing manually, then please check if all the cross connects are created, all the apps are installed properly, you have the right versions, and also some of the configurations that are needed for 2.2. I can send you that information to just have a basic check on those. If those are good, then we should be good to go. But if you are seeing any other specific errors, yeah, please do send an email about it so we can look at it.
Yeah, sure. Thanks.
So is this the first time that you're running with 2.2, ONOS 2.2?
Yes, yeah. So
Okay.
actually I was checking, we were not able to add a subscriber. So yesterday only we found that Satis file needs to be updated.
Yes, yeah. Okay, it should be something somewhere we have missed a configuration, but we can look at it.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, again, test execution updates. As we talked earlier about these jobs here, we have updated the release job to have 2.2 now, and they are running. And right now we have 8 test cases on it. There should be 11, like the previous. Previous week we had 11 test cases that we had been verifying against the ONOS 2.2 versions. So I'm going to add the rest of the test cases mostly today, and we should be having those runs, and hopefully they are like good and stable. And otherwise on the master jobs, planning to add more test cases. There are almost 6 to 7 new test cases that are pending to be added to the nightly jobs. So I'm adding one at a time because there are a couple of issues that I've been seeing, and I'm realigning these test cases and making sure that we have them in the right order and then in an optimized way. And also, since the delete OLT issue has been fixed, now the dependency between the test cases, I'm trying to reduce those so that it's easier to mix the test cases here and there. And hopefully, I'm assuming that we will not see more issues with the delete OLT, and then we should be able to run the test cases. But there is one more issue which is still pending, and Ken is working on right now, and that's the update here. Any questions? Okay.
Hi, Suchitra.
Yes. Who is that?
This is Sarkan talking from Netsia.
Hi, Sarkan.
Hi. So we wanted to introduce ourselves to the team, actually.
Sure.
Okay, so as some of you may know, Turk Telecom Workflow has some different use cases, like having multiple T-counts, and each service uses different multi-T-counts, and also there is also multicast use case. So we want to automate those use cases also. For that, right now, we have 2 other team members, Başak and Tolga, will work automating here.
Hi.
Hello. Yeah, hello, Basak.
Hello.
Olga.
So right now, we are working on setting up a hardware pod. And once we finish that process, Başak and Tolga will start implementing the test cases. And other issue that we are working on is that because we need to use different multi-TCONs and multiple services. On ONOS, we need to use more than one commands to add subscriber. So we found the way how to do that, and we will try it also.
Okay, sounds good. So Basak and Tolga, where are you guys located? Are you in this time zone or?
We are in Turkey.
Oh, okay. And even Tolga, both of them?
Yes, both of us in Turkey.
And you both work for TT, is it?
Yes.
Okay, nice. So I think we had some email conversations about the automation framework. I hope you have the information, whatever we had sent. And if there are any questions, please do reach out to us on Slack or on email. Slack is best because we can respond right away.
Yes, we reached those documents and those were really helpful. Also, we have some questions about those, but once we prepare the hardware environment ready, then we can start these issues later.
Okay. So are you building the, at your location, the hardware pod?
Sorry, Suchitra, what was the question?
Yeah, the hardware pod, where are you guys building that?
It is probably would be in Turkey in our lab.
Okay.
But there are lots of people trying to work on the same hardware, so there are some sharing problems we are trying to solve. It might be also in our US office. It's another possibility. But right currently, Başak working on having a hardware pod in Turkey.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, thanks, Erkan. So do you have anything else?
No, not right now. I just have a question. You talked about the there's a problem with delete ONT, right? Not OLT.
OLT, yeah.
OLT. Okay. And is it solved?
Yes, it is solved. So that's the reason we are trying to add more delete scenarios in that test. So to make sure that we don't see any issue. There are some intermittent issues where sometimes the OLT and ONUs are still hanging around even after the delete command is issued. If you check the old device list, the OLT and ONUs are still shown there because I've seen that since yesterday, and that's not reproducible yet. So hopefully 90% of the time it works, and we have to figure out this 10% and see if we can reproduce that issue.
I see. And one more thing, Hardik mentioned about having test cases about adding subscribers, if I remember correctly. But probably we will need the same thing. Maybe we can share what he is doing, and maybe we can collaborate on that also.
Yes, definitely. There are a couple test cases for AT&T workflow if you see in our repository. And what Hardik also did was taking the AT&T test cases as template and updated to work towards DT.
I see.
Yeah, so there are like sanity tests, add, subscriber, delete, even in the AT&T. There are enable, disabled scenarios. So there are many scenarios that basic functionality scenarios have been already covered as part of AT&T workflow. So please take a look at those, and most probably you for TT as well, there might be little changes because Not like DT, because DT is little simpler, but I know that Turk Telecom, it has more complex scenarios. So probably we might need to write newer keywords in our libraries and then reuse the existing ones as well, and then have a mixture of those in our test cases.
I see.
But I'm happy. Yeah, but we are happy to help you anytime. If there is any question or suggestion that you may require, please do reach out to us, and then we can help you to fill in the gaps that you might be having.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Okay. Anything else, Arkat?
No, thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much for the introduction, and hopefully we can work together and then on Slack or emails.
Yeah, hopefully. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Basak and Tolga. Welcome to the team.
Thank you.
Okay, there are no other items on this agenda. Anyone else has anything to talk about, to discuss? So that looks like no. All right. Thanks, everyone. Thank you for the participation, and we'll talk again next week.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye. Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.